Hello and welcome to the opening tutorial of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. It's a game I stumbled across in the Steam winter sale just gone at Christmas, and it's fairly unique, certainly enjoyable. And so yeah, just like to take you through the basics to at least start the map. Once you go into new game, you have an option to start on a blank canvas or a populated map. So if we just opt for the blank canvas to start with, you get to choose the options as to what things are set as on your map. So if we just set some basics up first, so leave the money amount as easy, just so we don't run out. Unsatisfied citizens, just leave it as easy so we don't get any annoying rebellions or anything. Buildings and vehicles for energy management, so we have to fuel our cars, power our buildings, that sort of thing. Turn off the day and night cycle, because when it gets dark it might be a bit more annoying to show you anything on the map. Building fires we'll do normal. If there's a fire, makes things a bit more interesting. Keeps you on your toes. Global events, yet to come, but it does sound very interesting. Pollution we'll just leave on, and I like to start in 1960. Maybe because I'm a bit OCD, but just like to start as early as possible and work left to right. We'll lock the vehicles according to year, and we'll keep the education system as complex for this case, just to keep a bit more detail with the education level of the citizens. So if we start a new game, it will build our new map for us. And you'll notice when the map builds, the size of the map. Now you only ever get the same map every time you launch a new game. It doesn't generate a new map in any way. It's always the same, but the map is so vast it doesn't matter too much, because you can always start somewhere different. Just to give you a scale of it, zoom out with the mouse wheel. If we go under the cloud cover a bit, you'll get an idea of the scale of the map actually, just as I show you some initial bits of information. So you'll see on one side of the border we've got red stars, and on the other side, as we go and spin the map around using the middle mouse wheel, zoom in and out with the middle mouse wheel too. So just hold the middle mouse wheel down and move the mouse to turn things as well. Yeah, so on this side we've got the blue and white. So the red is, there's some border here as well, is trading points for the Soviet side, and the blue and white is trading for the western side of Europe for the dollars. But just to show you how the game works, we'll use the rubles. So we'll work our way over to this side of the map. We'll come down here. Okay. So first things first, the main requirement of any town or city building game, I suppose, is the power. So getting energy to everything. So show the mini map, and if you hover over coal, shows you where you've got coal and iron and oil. So coal is how we get our power stations to produce power. So we need to start somewhere where there's coal, preferably, and you can't click on this, so it's just a case of hovering over the coal, and we're trying to remember on the map where the red spots are. I know that there's some coal here, so if we turn the map around a little bit there, and if we click on the construction button, and then coal, gravel and iron, got a coal mine, coal ore processing plant, and in the previous screen, energy related, the coal power plant. So we'll start with a coal mine, and you can see on top of this mountain there is some coal because the dots line up as green. Red means there is no coal, green means there is some coal, yellow is sort of there's some but not much, or the quality might be bad. You can see there's none here, it's completely red. To zoom in, once you've got an item selected, such as a building, you have to ignore that tool tip, it will disappear at its own time. It's a bit annoying. I'll just minimize this map as well. So if you zoom in, holding shift you can see a bit more detail in the building. You'll notice there is a road arrow and an arrow that's green and looks like a paperclip or something coming out the other side. The paperclip one is a conveyor belt, which will need to link up to a coal processing plant and then the power plant. So if we try and face it, if we were looking to build sort of downhill, preferably, so onto something a little flatter, we look to perhaps build it here. Now you'll see the building turns yellow. You can turn it by using the mouse wheel, not pressing shift. So if we try and put it here, so the conveyor belt can come and attach another building. Now it says here that to flatten the terrain, hold down the left mouse button. When I do that, it will adjust the land so we can place it. So just hold the button down. Now it turns green and we place it. That will now start to build. Click on it and you'll see the progress, and you'll see it's using resource that we don't have at the moment and it's costing us, but eventually we'll have all of this stuff being built ourselves and we don't have to worry about it. Next after that we want the processing plant, and you'll see again some arrows, the road and again the paperclip icons with the green arrows. We want the ones going in to the building this time, which are the product from the conveyor belt, which will come from the coal mine. So again, position it somewhere it's not red, you can't build it, preferably yellow so we can flatten the terrain, but close enough and in a good enough position to eventually connect the conveyor belt. And remember the arrows at the bottom of that come out of the building, the green ones with the paperclip icons, are to come out of this building and into the power plant. So it's a case of getting this all lined up really the best you can. So if we maybe place that here, hold down the left mouse button, flattens the land till it goes green, and place. And then finally, if we get the coal power plant down, put that about there. Sometimes these can take ages to flatten, sometimes they're quite quick. There we go. Okay, so whilst all these buildings are finishing, just show you how to connect them up. So in infrastructure, you've got conveyor and the conveyor belt. Now what I've done is I've put them up here in the hotkey, so you can press 1 for conveyor belt and 2 for footpaths to put something up here. Just drag over to there and click in, and you can move that around. So put it as number 1, move back again. All right, and then you can go between what I set earlier as a footpath, number 1 is a conveyor belt. So we want to get these to join. So get our conveyor belt, and if you click on the outgoing paperclip from the mine, and we want it to connect to one of these, you see it's red and it says the hill's causing obstruction. You see this hill here is possibly in the way. So click on show wireframe and you'll see it's red. So we want to flatten the land. So we can use these tools. So you've got height from center, level as an average, lower or raised terrain. What I'll probably do is just try and flatten it as an average. You get this grid here, so you can make that as big or as small as you like depending on the area you want. So just left click to try and flatten the area or level it out. It's hard to know when it's done, it's just a case of trial and error, to be honest. Okay, and that did absolutely nothing, so we'll try and flatten it small. It may be that we actually have to lower the land, but we'll just try this. Yeah, we'll try and lower the land. Okay, Let's try again. There we go. Now you can see we can connect to one of them. Let's connect to this one. It doesn't matter which one at the moment. And eventually you can connect different things to it. That's why you've got more than one point that you can put a conveyor belt into. And if we do the same from here to here, first time, excellent. You'll notice as this goes through, it becomes a bit fiddly to put roads down and paths and things, but it's part of the quirks of the game, to be honest. So get rid of that wireframe. It's a little bit ugly on the system. So you'll see that we've got 3 link buildings which provide us the mainstay of our power, but there's no workers and there's no way of accessing each one, say by road or path. So on the infrastructure section, we'll get a road and you get lots of different types of roads. Now you've got basic roads such as mud roads, all the way to lit up roads, street lights. So we probably don't really care about the one with street lights because we're not playing a day-night cycle. So just save money and we'll get a standard asphalt road. You'll find that a lot of buildings in this game have roads in places that don't tend to make sense to connect things up, and you can't change the positions of the road entry points or conveyor entry points. They're set for now. The game is in early access, so things could get better in that sense. We don't know at the moment. So if we just try and get the roads, and you'll see in a minute this is a bit frustrating at first, but it works eventually. You see if you drag out the road, red means you can't build. It says Y, too deep in centimetre. It may mean that we have to adjust the land ourselves. When it's yellow, it will do it for you to an extent. So when it's yellow, hold the right mouse button down, and it'll do its best to get it right for you. It's still too steep. It doesn't matter. Sometimes what helps is if you build it from the other side. It's a bit of a quirk. If you try and come this way, it might let you build it, but it might not. But we'll try and come from here because I know this will be easier to build. Just needs a bit of self-leveling, so wait till it turns green. Use the right mouse button just to auto-level it. I did say we're not going to have the street lights, didn't I? Let's use the one I said I was going to use. So here we go. Standard road. Drag that round. And sometimes it's easy to do a small amount at a time, and it's quite temperamental. Okay, you can see that's a little bit too steep, but sometimes if you do tiny bits at a time, it'll let you. No, so if we just try and level this out, so it's saying it's too steep. So we just try and lower the ground around it. This is kind of enjoyable because you have to plan a little bit. Still too steep. Let's try come from the other way. Still too steep. We'll raise it actually. Let's get the wireframe up. There we go. Okay, so we've got excellently connected roads. Looks a bit messy, but it works to a fashion. So now we want the road to try and come back around and connect to here now. This is going to be slightly more tricky. because the land around when you adjust buildings gets leveled in such a way that it could affect building other things. So it's a constant challenge. If we just try and work this out using the wireframe. Let's build little bits at a time. If you look at the message, it's sides are too steep of an incline or descent, so we've got to try and tidy it up a little bit. Let's try and level it. You'll find you having to do this quite a lot, to be honest. There we go. Bit messy, but again, persistence seems to be the key in this game, to be honest, when it comes to road buildings. Okay, everything's connected to a fashion, so what you'll see is these are all built, and you get an overview of the different screens and what they do. And there's no workers. So who's operating these things? Oh, well, we need to put somewhere for them to live. So go into your construction menu and you'll see a list of residential buildings. And they'll tell you how many people they hold, how many workers they hold. They're not known as people in here. They are workers. We see them as subjects only. Brick ones, prefab buildings, all sorts of different styles really. But small amount of workers to large amount of workers. For the purpose of this, let's get a 73 workers. Now, you'll see there's a yellow line that's coming out of this building, and it's connected to the power station, so it means that it will connect. It's in range of that power station. As you move further away, it breaks that, and your home will not be able to receive any power. You obviously want it to be in range of a power station. As you go through the game, you can expand the reach of your power station, but hopefully we'll cover that another time. Same principle applies when you're building these, really. Yellow means you can adjust the terrain. Red means you simply can't put anything down with the land as it is. So if we try and put this here somewhere, there's small movements. Let's do that there. Oh. Like that. Let's. There we go. Yeah, that doesn't like that. Let's do this over here instead. Okay. Quite a lot of land work on here for it to be level. Eventually it will turn green. There we go. Okay, so we've got a house. This will automatically get workers. I should have shown you actually. When you click a building, you'll automatically get citizens in Ruble that will invite the immigrants to live and then subsequently work. Other settings as well. Move workers from other places to this building or in dollars. So just leave it as auto in rubles. I mean, people will come and start living in now. There's 51 people. And we now need to make sure they can actually get to work. So start with the footpath from the infrastructure, or use my quick 2 hotkey. And you'll see that there's, if you zoom in a bit, these icons, the little people walking. They'll appear on any building where it's applicable. So they're on the processing plant as well. They're not on the power plant because it's not relevant, or the mine itself because it's not an option. Don't know why, but it's just not. So for our workers to be able to get to these workplaces, we'll build some roads in a minute as well. But the footpaths, let's get a footpath to power station. And let's go from here. You'll notice that footpaths are a little bit more forgiving than roads as well. And whether or not they'll take that way, there we go, some will. Excellent. So if you click on the building, you can see how far it can reach. So this building, if you want people to walk, hover over that little man icon at the top, and they can reach all three of our infrastructure buildings, which is excellent stuff. And also you can see that it's still in reach of that power station. So speaking of power, you'll see building is without power supply, and that is all of them without power supply. They've all got workers, but no power. So you'll see our coal power station, no voltage, not producing anything at all. So it's chicken and the egg situation. In some ways, you know, we're ready to take the coal up and power our station, but we don't have the coal, so what comes first? So we've actually got to buy the coal. So if you click on the power station, in dollars or rubles again we're working in rubles for the purpose of this. Buildings where they require resources to run will have an auto purchase option. So if you want to make sure that the amount in the storage of coal in the power station doesn't dip below X amount, you can set this to 4 tons and it'll constantly keep purchasing coal to keep it at that limit. But if we're going to make our own coal, and we only want to buy some one-off coal to get things moving, so we're going to manual purchase, which is one-off, up that to 4 tons. As soon as you press this, the coal will then be placed into the power station and used into power. The power, as you can see, you highlight the little telegraph pole there, could reach all 3 of our other buildings. So we're going to purchase 4 tons of coal, and you can see the coal plant is now operating without issue. And you can see the mine is operating without issue, and the processing plant is operating without issue. The house is also no longer saying it hasn't got power. Now we can see the coal coming out of the mine, and in a second we'll see coal coming out of the processing plant into the power station, and then we're sufficient to supply our own coal to power what we need. Just wait for this to start coming through. Make sure we've got workers. Yeah, we've got coal ore in there, which will start to transform in a moment. It's not instant, which I suppose is realistic to everybody. There we go. And we've now got our own coal supply, and you'll see the coal going up, which is excellent, and we can use it in other ways. We can make money from that as well, should we need to. So this is the start anyway. So what I would probably like to do, if I was to make another video just to progress this along further, is show you, you'll see that a lot of people in the flats aren't happy, lots of issues. So I can then show you how to resolve some of the issues, and then how to perhaps make a bit of money from any excess power we have, because obviously our coal's going up. Show you how to make a bit of money out of that if need be, and then maybe build some other things. Yeah, if you want me to carry on, just let me know, and I can always make more videos. Cheers.